Nikki, did you see that?
Oh, it's so cool.
Isn't that cool?
I've already
Would you be afraid to go up there?
No. There's a big hole in the middle.
Paris is one of the most densely populated cities in the world. It's got 21,000 inhabitants per square kilometer.
Okay, here we go.
See?
Keep going.
So we all necessarily live in very small spaces. Well, so our apartment is 79 square meters, which is about 850 square feet. And it's 2 bedrooms, so we have 3 boys that are 10, 12, and 14 in one room. But it works okay. I think most of the people who live in small spaces who enjoy it because they like to organize, that they find the act of organizing to be creative for them.
Yeah, that's cool.
These cupboards, I mean, I can't even tell you how much they hold. They're enormous. It's like something out of a fairy tale. You know, it's like you're this little mouse in your little house and you can... Yeah, I really like old furniture. I think it, especially if you live in an older house, I think it fits the space better because it's not too big. So like if I wanted to, I could use this as a desk here. And then it has these little sneaky drawers.
Oh,
sneaky drawers.
Like you get a lot of space here because you can just
you
can work sitting in the hallway.
Yeah, I mean, and this is such a squirrely little space too with this thing coming down that can't be moved. I mean, how else are you going to use this space? I don't know. This is the Buffet Mado. So this is just a kitchen cupboard that was really popular in France in the 1940s and 50s, and I think it's amazing. It just holds a ton of stuff. It holds all of the food for our family of 5.
No.
Yeah, this is our only pantry. It works fine. I mean, it just, you can cram so much stuff in it. And then it just has all these little quirks that I love. So it's got this little ventilated cupboard that we use to store our onions and potatoes.
So you keep in there pretty fresh. I mean, you've garlic in there? No?
And potatoes and, carrots. It stays pretty cool.
It's
metal. Yeah, it's insulated. So you could have put some ice in there and potentially used it like a little ice box.
And the back, there's holes too. Mm-hmm. So it's ventilated all the way through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is ventilated here as well so that it keeps your vegetables fresh. That circulation is nice. And then on this little side, you have these little cups that pull out. It's super satisfying.
So they're heavy, right? They're actual porcelain?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Porcelain from like Limoges or something? Or
no, I think that would be too classy for this. I mean, this is just pine, right? So it's not even, this is just like a working class family's cupboard. So this is just a grocery list. So satisfying. Okay. We need chicory.
Chicory.
I like this one too. Poudre couteau, so like knife powder.
Okay.
And then pétrole, like if you need gas. Mustard, alcohol. And then I love this too, like vermicelle, like you need that particular type of noodle, I guess. Eau de Javel is bleach. Riz is just rice. And then farine.
Do you actually have flour in there?
No, I have tea. Yeah. Poivre, pepper. This is where I store all the little broken things that might come in handy.
So funny.
This I think is hilarious. This is girofle, is cloves. Why would you need that many cloves?
I get it.
And then, see, and then it makes this nice, satisfying clunk. And then on this side is just ridiculous too, because so you have this little egg timer.
But is that a bell underneath?
Yeah.
What is that?
And so what it'll do is this will spin around and hit the bell.
No.
Yeah,
Okay, we're waiting for that.
All right.
Keep
Yeah, I know. And then this is a little coffee grinder, so you can grind your. It makes me feel like I'm a character in like a story, in a little book. I love that it has like the little numbers on it to show you how many cups of coffee you've made.
Oh yeah.
This is a little egg tray.
Oh, that's great.
So then, so in the mornings we get our cup of coffee out of here and you feel like you live in a little fairy tale book or something.
This like halfway, so that was probably what, maybe a minute?
Maybe a minute, yeah.
Have you used this?
Timing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I found out it is irregular. Doesn't work.
So you use it to kind of remind you to do something eventually.
Yeah.
That's what you hear.
Yeah.
It's
And
one
then-
thing. You got to be ready for it.
I know. And then so it has this little clock, but it doesn't work anymore. But a lot of them have like thermometers and barometers in them. And they're like chrome bumpers. It's very kind of steampunk. Like, it's so cool. And some of them have pull out extra counter space, like pull out cutting boards. And a lot of them have baguette drawers. So they're vertical places to store your baguettes. I really wanted this one, but I didn't have enough space.
So at one time, this was like
Standard. This was the thing that you would get for your wedding in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Because then that just kind of made your kitchen. And you could customize them. So you could go to the store and get like all the little doohickeys that you wanted. There's some that have the little cups not hidden away, but like strung across the top. Or like in little narrow columns here that are pretty cute too.
you'd get that as a wedding present.
Yeah, that would be your wedding present. And then, I mean, if you think about it, then you have your sink and your stove, and that would be enough.
And you're set.
And then it has, like, this doesn't seem like a lot of counter space, but it actually is big enough that you can put a pot down here and really work with it, actually. Yeah, they have like this, it's called balatum, and it's a precursor to linoleum. It's like some kind of cardboard that's been impregnated with oils. So like these are just the drawers,
stamp.
nothing terribly exciting. But then, yeah, these cupboards, I mean, I can't even tell you how much they hold.
Yeah.
They're enormous.
So fun because you didn't have a lot of space here.
Yeah, this kitchen is actually very awkwardly arranged. For example, we have the water heater right next to the gas stove. We didn't have an option on that.
No?
So when we moved in, there was a metal sink that the lip of the sink was right here, and then it went all the way to here. And it was really frustrating because it was too low to put a refrigerator under there, and then it was really frustrating to have no place where you could put anything between the stove and the sink. So when we were redoing the kitchen ourselves, I figured out I could move the sink, 8 or 9 inches, whatever this is, 25 centimeters. And then that is just enough room to put a pot and a pot holder down. I measured our pasta pot to make sure that I could do it. There you go. So that is life-changing, like this little bit of counter space.
Laboratory research has made evident many of the requirements of a good kitchen. For example, we have learned that more counter space is required for the making of cookies and bread than for any other mixing operation. Experiments have shown that we need at least 36 inches and that 42 inches is a more desirable length for the mixing counter.
I watched this video called A Step-Saving Kitchen, and it's from the Department of Agriculture from the 1940s, and it's just delightful because every square inch of that kitchen has been thought out meticulously.
These revolving corner shelves make it possible to store the heavy and frequently used foods near working level. They are roomy enough to hold all of the staple supplies used here. See how easy it is to get at what you want. We designed the smaller top shelf for long-handled pans to allow full use of the shelf space below. Space ordinarily wasted is utilized to advantage by these built-in bins for flour and sugar.
And they have so many creative ways of using teeny tiny spaces and also trying to figure out what's the most functional way to use your kitchen.
Top shelf space is used to good advantage by vertical files for baking pans. To the left of the mixing counter is the vegetable preparation and dishwashing center. This worker has a step-saving setup for preparing vegetables. A garbage hatch in the counter eliminates stooping and avoids repeated handling of garbage. The pail in the metal-lined compartment below can be removed for emptying from the outside through an insulated door in the wall. In the cooking and serving center are all of the supplies and equipment used at the range.
And so that kind of gave me the inspiration to just pack my kitchen cupboards the way that I wanted them to be. And then once I put the two ideas together, like just using furniture in the kitchen and then really concentrating on how to maximize every square inch. This is just an IKEA cupboard. It's not supposed to be a sink cupboard, but we just...
Did you paint it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it feels personalized. You put it on your own handles or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we had this little cupboard that can tuck in there, and so then it's on casters so it can slide out, and then you get more counter space.
That's great.
Yeah.
So this is a rental? Mm-hmm. Because that's a big deal, actually, to invest in a rental. Did you consider, like, you've changed stuff around.
I was just online, and I was like, can you just buy kitchen furniture? Because I didn't want to install something that then I wouldn't be able to reuse in a different apartment if we ever had to move. So I was like, what kitchen furniture can you buy? I was poking around on different design blogs, and I found this thing called an unfitted kitchen. And all that really means is that your kitchen is made up of different pieces of furniture.
Okay, today we're gonna make a salad. Pardon my assistants, they're a bit immature.
That to me was such a revelation, because once you get out of this idea that you have to have cupboards attached to the wall with a standard countertop depth, then that really allows you to be flexible and adapt to whatever your kitchen needs are. So you can easily add new pieces or delete things that aren't working for you anymore. And you can just completely adapt to whatever your needs are in the moment. I thought I was going to just do like a standard IKEA kitchen, which would have been fine, except they're too deep. And so it was impossible to find a corner unit for these two corners. And so that's why I went with these alternative cabinets, because they were a little bit narrower. And so then I knew that I could only get one of these Mados that was 120 centimeters wide. The other thing I really like about this kitchen is that because everything's just furniture, right? Like everything's just on wheels. So if I wanted to, I could rearrange it. Because like this, I measured, so this can fit on this wall. And this is actually the same length as this. So I could reconfigure it in different ways if I got bored. This apartment definitely has some odd-shaped rooms that we bought furniture specifically to fit in these odd spaces. So this room is an octagon, which is very strange. And as an entryway, it's also very strange because you can't hang anything deep here because then you block your access to this doorway. So you can't hang anything against this wall because then you're cutting into this space and it becomes pretty tight. I knew I had to hang stuff on these two walls, but these two walls are like 35 centimeters deep. They're super tiny. So I found these antique bistro hooks online, which I thought were gorgeous. And they hold a ton. Yeah, they're super solid. But then when I got them home, I realized those are the support beams for the whole building, and you can't, like you physically cannot drill into them. Like they're impenetrable. And so I made fake walls. I got boards cut to fit, but so then I tried to disguise it with like some crown molding.
Well, how do you get the whole thing to stay on there then?
So, because you can't drill it into the wall, right? So I screwed it into the backs of these furniture pieces.
No.
So if I were to move this, the whole thing, like it's screwed in.
Oh, so it's funny. So it's not at all on the wall. No.
No.
The furniture's holding it up. That's great.
So this is just reclaimed wood. One of the reasons why we got it so big was because we knew we didn't have enough room in the house for each boy to have his own individual desk. So this way kids can work at one end and you can eat at the other. And then these are my funky little Dutch university chairs. This is my husband's dresser. It's really cool because it all disassembles. So you stick a screw in there and that's how you tighten it, and it's like an Allen wrench before there were Allen wrenches. So that's how this whole thing comes together, is with those big screw heads.
So in a sense, it's like the IKEA disassembly process.
Yeah, from like 1920, I think. And I mean, it still works great. It's got little ball bearings to roll, and it makes like a satisfying sound. Here, I'll show you the boys' room too. This room was a pain to figure out how to organize too. Because it's really small and it's got 7 walls. Like, how do you organize?
This is cool. You have 3 boys in one room?
Mm-hmm. But it works okay. But yeah, like, so we managed to cram a lot into this little room. So like this little cupboard is nice because it fits this wall depth exactly. Yeah. But see, this is the joy of an older floor, is that the floor is crooked. So if we cranked this so that it matched the wall, then it would be crooked. So
that's great.
And it was hard to figure out how to put furniture in that would be functional, that would fit this space, because like these 2 things, it's easy for those to crash into each other.
Yeah. And the beds are like nice. Like, did you
thanks.
custom or?
No. So this is just an Ikea bunk bed that I just painted to make it look a little funkier.
And also, what is this, a privacy curtain?
So then this is just a privacy curtain for my oldest son, yeah.
So what did you put on there?
Well, so this is just wood. And so I just took a regular Ikea bed and built this little frame because it's tricky, because these are the drawers where all the boys' clothes are.
Oh my gosh, so there are closets under the bed.
Yeah, because there's no room for a closet. So when I was building this frame, I couldn't block the underside of the bed at all.
Right. Oh, you built the frame.
Yeah, and then I cut down this Ikea thing and then just made it into a desk so that it would be the same height as the other bed, so that way they don't, when you walk in the room, it's not too disruptive.
Yeah. This is nice though. This feels like you could kind of get into this nook here.
Yeah, right? And then you just have your little space. And basically the theme is just black and then natural wood, because I was looking around at all of the arts and crafts that my boys like to do, and they're all either are black or natural wood.
Yeah, because if you keep it consistent, then it feels
intentional.
Yeah.
These are just closed.
There's no closet.
No closets.
Chest of drawers.
No closet, no chest of drawers. There's no room. I mean, what, like...
It's just all under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Are they okay with it and then sharing a room? Because 3 boys, I mean, they're getting older, teens. Like,
yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. If somebody gets frustrated, then they can go into the living room. I think we think that kids need, I mean, but like 100 years ago, this apartment was, it's a family apartment, right? So 100 years ago, people lived like this, so we can still do that. I mean, 100 years is nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is my dresser. But so it's got this on one side and then shelves on the other.
Oh, nice. So you have a real closet. You can hang.
Yeah.
That's cool. Everything in this place.
You have to be organized. And then, but one thing I like about it is that then you can't buy things just to spend money, and you know, you have to like, the restrictions force you to be more creative and like conscious when you buy stuff. I like that. You know, that's not everybody's thing.